Welcome back to IvanVentures, everyone. I'm Ivan, and I'm so glad you could join us for the podcast where we try to break down the big, complicated worlds of money and investing and see how they fit into our actual everyday lives.
And I'm Mela. It's so good to be back. Last episode was a big one, huh?
It really was. We talked all about how millennials and Gen Z are basically doing a complete overhaul on culture, right? Drinking less, leaning into wellness, and how that's creating these massive waves in the market. We're talking non-alcoholic drinks, wearables, those wild weight loss drugs like Ozempic.
Oh my gosh, totally. And it's so wild to see brands like Lululemon and Celsius just explode. It really proves that these small personal choices we make, like grabbing a kombucha instead of a beer, they don't just stay in our little bubble. They scale up big time.
Exactly. They ripple all the way out into global markets. And that got me thinking, if these generations are changing what's in our refrigerators, what about what's in our wallets? So today, that's what we're diving into because they're not just tweaking the old rules of finance, they are literally lighting the rule book on fire and starting from scratch.
Yes, I am so excited for this topic. I mean, from ethical investing to viral financial advice on TikTok to fintech apps that make old school banks look like, I don't know, dinosaurs, it's all happening in real time. And of course, Miklo, our resident feline analyst, is here too. I'm pretty sure he's still all in on tuna futures.
Of course, he is a sound investment, according to him. All right, so let's get into it. Four massive ways millennials and Gen Z are rewriting the rules of money and what it all means for you. First up, ethical investing. I think for our parents' generation, the main question, maybe the only question was, what's the return? Simple. But for millennials and Gen Z, the question is so much bigger. It's what's the impact?
Exactly. It's like people woke up and realized their investment portfolio doesn't have to be this like soulless, separate thing. It can actually reflect their values. So now companies have to think about ESG, environmental, social, and governance, which is, a fancy way of asking, are you destroying the planet? Do you treat your people well? And are you lying about any of it?
Right. Be transparent. And the numbers on this are staggering. I saw a Morgan Stanley report that said 95% of millennials are interested in sustainable investing. 95%. That's not a niche, that's not a trend, that is the new default. It's the expectation.
And you feel it. Look at a company like Patagonia. They literally have a mission statement that says, we're in business to save our home planet. People buy their stuff not just because it's a good jacket, but because they feel like they're buying into that mission. They're part of something.
Totally. But it can get complicated. Take Tesla. On one hand, they're pushing the entire world toward electric vehicles, which is huge for the E in ESG. But then you hear about the S, the social side, and you hear stories about workplace conditions and it's not so clean. So it's not just about slapping a green label on something. Younger investors are getting really savvy about digging deeper.
But isn't that the whole point? This pressure is forcing companies to be better across the board. It's not just about a donation or a press release anymore. And here's the kicker, it's not just charity. The data shows that companies with strong ESG practices often have lower risk and better long term financial performance. So investors are saying, hey, I want my money to grow, but I want it to do good while it's growing. You really can have both.
Which leads us perfectly into our second point, fintech and digital banking. I mean, let's be honest, Mela. When was the last time you physically walked into a bank branch to do something?
Wow, I don't think I have in years. Maybe to get something notarized. It feels so archaic, like using a payphone. Why would I go to a building during their specific hours when my bank already lives right here in my pocket?
It's the user experience, isn't it? Apps like Venmo, Cash App, Robinhood, M1 Finance, they're designed to be as intuitive and honestly as addictive as Instagram or Spotify. A few taps and you've sent money, bought a stock, paid a bill. No lines, no weird beige colored forms to fill out. It's just seamless.
It feels like a conversation. When you send money to a friend on Venmo, you add a little emoji. It's social, it's fast, it gets out of your way. Traditional banks just they can't compete with that speed and that feeling.
And then we have to talk about the elephant in the room, crypto. Love it, hate it, don't understand it. It doesn't matter. Younger generations were the first to really dive in headfirst with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, NFTs. Miklo definitely begged me to buy him Dogecoin back in 2021.
Oh, he did. He was howling at that little Shiba Inu on the screen. But seriously, even with all the volatility and the chaos of the crypto world, it represents a core value for these generations. Decentralization. It's about questioning the traditional systems.
That's the real story. Whether we're talking about a simple payment app or a complex cryptocurrency, the underlying theme is accessibility. It's about breaking down barriers.
100%. You don't need a financial advisor and thousands of dollars to start investing anymore. You need $5, a smartphone, and a Wi Fi connection. That's a revolution.
And that accessibility is the perfect bridge to our third point, which is how people are even learning about all this stuff in the first place. Think about it. Financial literacy. Did you have a class in high school that taught you how to build a budget or what a 401k was?
Are you kidding me? No. I learned how to find the circumference of a circle, something I have never once used. But I had to figure out taxes by myself, terrified I was going to jail. But now it's completely different. Gen Z is learning about money from TikTok.
It sounds crazy, but it's true. You have these creators, these finance gurus in their 20s, making 60-second videos with trending music that explain what a Roth IRA is or the difference between a stock and a bond. And people are actually watching. The hashtag FinTalk, short for finance TikTok, has billions of views.
It's bite sized, it's entertaining, and it's meeting them where they are. They're not going to read a dense textbook from the 90s, but they will watch a quick video from someone they find relatable while they're scrolling. The information is getting out there.
And it's not just TikTok. You have these massive online communities like Reddit's Wall Street Bets. I mean, that's where the whole GameStop saga blew up. It was basically a decentralized hedge fund run by memes. They showed the world that when enough individuals get together and share information, they can challenge the biggest players on Wall Street.
It was this incredible David versus Goliath story playing out in real time. It was about more than just money. It was about community and sending a message.
Okay, speaking of the GameStop frenzy, that actually brings me to our trivia for today. Mela, are you ready for this?
Oh, okay, I'm ready. Hit me.
All right. During the peak of the GameStop surge in January 2021, the trading volume from everyday retail investors got so intense, so wild, that popular trading apps like Robinhood literally had to halt buying of the stock. They just turned it off.
Wow. That's insane and super controversial. I remember that. But it just proves the point, right? The system was so overwhelmed by the power of regular people that it kind of broke for a minute. That shows you how much influence the crowd now has.
And that is the key takeaway here. Finance isn't this secret club anymore, gatekept by old men in suits. The information is out there, it's free, it's social, and it's changing how an entire generation thinks and interacts with money. All right, our fourth and final point. And honestly, for me, this might be the most profound shift of all. It's the move toward financial wellness. For millennials and Gen Z, money isn't just about accumulating the biggest pile of cash possible. It's about what that money can do for your life. It's about freedom, balance, and happiness.
Yes, this is so huge. It's this holistic view, right? It asks the question, does my financial situation give me anxiety or does it give me peace? It's not just about net worth, it's about well being.
And you see it in these big movements. Like on one end of the spectrum, you have FIRE, financial independence, retire early. That's the hardcore version where people save like 70% of their income so they can quit the 9 to 5 grind by the time they're 40.
which is, amazing for the people who can do it. But I think what's even more common is this sort of soft fire idea. It's not necessarily about never working again, it's about getting to a place where you have options. The freedom to go part time, or start your own business, or just take a sabbatical to travel. It's about wanting experiences and enjoying life now, not just someday.
Exactly. And that's why in a financial wellness budget, things that previous generations might have seen as frivolous luxuries are now seen as essential investments. A gym membership for physical health, a subscription to a therapy app for mental health, that trip to Bali for your soul. Those aren't just expenses anymore.
They're investments in your well being. Because at the end of the day, being burnt out and miserable isn't a good long term financial strategy. The goal isn't just to be rich, the goal is to build a life that is rich in every sense of the word, a life that feels fulfilling and authentic to you.
But before we wrap up, there's one more massive shift we have to talk about. And it's something that completely redefines the idea of a job. I'm talking about the explosion of the gig economy and the rise of the side hustle.
Yes, this is huge. For older generations, a job usually meant one employer, one paycheck, one career ladder you were supposed to climb for 30 years. For millennials and Gen Z, that ladder doesn't even exist anymore. It's more like a jungle gym. Side hustles, freelancing, contract work, online businesses, all happening at once.
Exactly. Think about platforms like Uber, DoorDash, TaskRabbit, or Fiverr. They gave people the ability to monetize their time and skills in ways that didn't exist before. Suddenly, your car, your camera, your laptop, your design skills, those became income streams.
And then there's the creator economy. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, millions of people are making money through content, brand deals, or even just audience support on Patreon. A Gen Z student might have a part time cafe job and be running a Depop store and posting monetized content online. That's three streams of income before they even graduate.
Right. And here's the key: side hustles aren't just about extra cash anymore. For a lot of people, they're a path to independence. They're a safety net if corporate jobs feel unstable. They're also a way to test drive passions. Some side hustles actually turn into full time careers.
Totally. And surveys back this up. According to a 2025 report, over 40% of Gen Z workers say they're planning to keep a side hustle even if they land a traditional full time job. It's not just temporary, it's becoming the new normal.
And let's be honest, technology makes it possible. Whether it's low cost e commerce shops, AI tools that help you design and edit, or apps that connect you with clients instantly, the barriers to starting something are lower than ever.
Which also ties back into our earlier theme of financial wellness. For many young people, it's not just about maximizing money, it's about flexibility. A side hustle can mean more freedom to say no to toxic jobs, to work remotely, or to build a lifestyle that feels balanced.
Exactly. The gig economy is rewriting the definition of work, just like fintech rewrote the definition of banking. For millennials and Gen Z, income is no longer just one paycheck. It's a portfolio of skills, hustles, and opportunities. So there you have it. Millennials and Gen Z are changing finance just like they're changing culture, from sustainable investing to learning money skills on social media to choosing wellness over just wealth. They're proving that money isn't only about dollars, it's about values and lifestyle.
And here's the fun part: you don't have to be on Wall Street to feel this. Every time you choose where to spend, save, or invest, you're part of this bigger story. Whether you're 19 or 39, these shifts affect your daily life and your future.
Exactly. And if there's one thing to remember, it's this: the future of money is being shaped right now by everyday people, by you. Thanks for hanging out with us on IvanVentures. If you love this episode, hit that follow button, share it with a friend, and drop us a quick review. It really helps grow our community.
Until next time, stay smart, stay curious, and remember, the best investment you can make is in yourself.